Morning.
What could be more satisfying than learning in a leisurely way? Studies confirm that leisure activities are intrinsically compelling and make learning more effective. We understand more, remember more, and develop more competencies when we enjoy learning. At UPLB, we integrate learning and leisure activities through Paseo, or promoting agroforest stewardship and ecological observations through edutourism. Paseo refers to taking a leisurely walk for rest and recreation. The word was adopted from Spanish into paseo or paseo by Filipinos in the southern part of Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Being a globally recognized science and technology center in agriculture, forestry, and allied fields, and set against the backdrop of the well-preserved Mount Makiling Forest Reserve, which hosts a rich biodiversity of flora and fauna, UPLB is a favorite paseo destination for people from all walks of life: students, local government executives, environment and natural resources conservation advocates, scientists, and professionals. Beyond these, UPLB is an emerging global center for educational tourism for a host of other possibilities, making it the country's veritable premier center for experiential learning and teaching on agriculture, forestry, entrepreneurship, environmental studies, natural resources conservation, culture and the arts, history, and technological development and commercialization. With this, UPLB is developing paseos to enhance visitors' experience, promote competitiveness of the region's tourism-related products, and channel the direct benefits of tourism to stakeholders and communities around the campus. The Biodiversity and Forestry Paseo covers organized experiential tours and nature-based experiences aimed at exploring biodiversity at the Mount Makiling Forest Reserve, or the MMFR. The MMFR was declared the 33rd ASEAN Heritage Park for its outstanding wilderness and for being an important conservation area. Mount Makiling houses about 940 genera, 2,038 species, 19 subspecies, 167 varieties, and several forms and cultivars of 225 families of flowering plants and ferns. A paseo at the mud springs and flat rocks at the MMFR and a canopy walk would enhance appreciation for biodiversity and natural resources conservation. The Agriculture and Science Paseo. The study of scientific agriculture in the Philippines began and developed in UPLB. From this rose institutions and technological innovations that have contributed in great measure to agriculture and food production in the country. The Technopreneurship Paseo is a walk through UPLB facilities that promote technology and entrepreneurship. It showcases technologies and products generated through research by UPLB that are in various stages of technology transfer and commercialization. This paseo also walks one through UPLB's Agro-Industrial and Information Technology Parks, a facility that will contribute significantly to industry-academe linkage and help produce industry-ready graduates from the region. The Culture and Arts Paseo familiarizes one with the rich historical legacy of the then UP College of Agriculture, which served as an internment camp for Allied prisoners that was liberated in a daring raid during World War II. Its storied past as an academic institution is evident in the historical and cultural landmarks such as arches, portals, and icons. With some of its buildings designed by national artists, it's a marvel to see how modernity coexists with the past. Paseo will develop and showcase UPLB as the country's premier center for edutourism and experiential learning and a wellspring of sustainable practices for the community now and in the future. As has been said, you can only protect and sustain what you love, and you can only love that which you understand, and you can only understand that which you know and appreciate. Learning in leisure while exploring the different paseos is the beginning of a lifelong journey to protect and sustain UPLB. Philippine higher education is facing emergent challenges. Amid the globalized and digital world that brings with it fast changing demands and standards in the industry, emphasizing the need for collaboration, flexibility, and lifelong learning. UPLB is in a unique position to share and learn new knowledge resources and expertise in research and instruction in the country, and together with other higher education institutions, expand, grow, and transform the nation's workforce. Recognizing the collaborative effort, this vision needs to transcend into reality. UPLB is growing its network and building bridges with fellow local higher education institutions to promote the free exchange of information and best practices between scholars, researchers, practitioners, and educators. To accomplish this, the Office of Institutional Development in Higher Education in UP Los Baños or UPLB OIDE is facilitating the building of UPLB's partnerships with local and state universities and colleges. UPLB OIDE was established on September 24, 2020 to share UPLB strengths in agriculture, natural resources, engineering, veterinary medicine, and community and rural development. Guided by the UP Charter and the university's vision and mission, UPLB OIDE seeks to provide leadership in academic development and technical expertise to enhance higher education in the country. It is reaching out far and wide to capacitate leaders and elevate the quality of academic curriculums across regions and provinces. Through OIDE, UPLB has been able to utilize the expertise of its researchers and faculty to share the university's wealth of knowledge with more academic communities, making them partners in providing globally competitive and relevant higher education to the nation's youth and workforce. Through its main programs, UPLB OIDE aims to build the capacities of local and state universities and private higher education institutions. UPLB OIDE has facilitated UPLB's partnership with more than 65 higher education institutions, most of them also supported by the government. It has also expanded its services to government agencies and non-profit organizations. UPLB OIDE sponsored and launched the special issue of the UP Los Baños Journal, which featured peer-reviewed academic papers of faculty members from UPLB's partner higher education institutions. This is a major milestone that will enable UPLB OIDE to capacitate agents of Philippine higher education in alignment with the university's role in public service and national development. This is the Office of Institutional Development in Higher Education in UP Los Baños. enhancing Philippine higher education one partnership at a time. Where change is the norm, adaptability, innovation, and resilience are crucial. As the leading higher education institution in the country, the University of the Philippines Los Baños engages in initiatives to future-proof research, learning, and public service to foster communities that can thrive amidst unpredictability and dynamic challenges. Grounded in compassion and a collaborative spirit, UPLB is dedicated to consolidating and seeking groundbreaking solutions and fostering academic excellence. In this regard, UPLB is building partnerships with local and international higher education institutions, industry players, government agencies, and research organizations to cultivate academic exchange and collaboration. It is expanding the country's capacity for building knowledge capital by using its expertise and empowering its local partners. This has given rise to more opportunities for pursuing higher education with UPLB and its partner universities. It aggressively pursues technological commercialization and incorporates entrepreneurial approaches into the university's knowledge resources that UPLB shares with communities. To establish a sustainable and efficient foundation for these efforts, it is accelerating digital transformation on campus, making university processes and services more accessible and efficient. These efforts to future-proof the university have borne fruit, with UPLB garnering awards and recognition from reputable institutions locally and abroad. As UPLB continues to lay the foundations for the future of higher education, it will continue towards its goal of becoming a leader in knowledge creation, research utilization, and public service.
to the UPLB Graduate School Hooding and Recognition Ceremonies. Here are some reminders and guidelines to be followed during the program. Observe solemnity all throughout the hooding and recognition ceremonies. Turn off mobile phones or put them in silent mode. Observe proper decorum and stay in your seats until the end of the program. Only authorized photographers are allowed to come near the stage to take photos. Marshals and volunteers are stationed around the gymnasium to attend to guests and graduates. Thank you. We shall now begin the hooding and recognition ceremonies with the processional. We are pleased to present the university officials. Please welcome the Graduate School Secretary, Associate Professor Pamela A. Custodio. Join me in welcoming the Faculty Marshal, Graduate School Dean, Professor Jomar F. Rabahante. Graduate School Associate Dean, Associate Professor Ronilo Jose D. Flores. Graduate School Assistant Secretary, Associate Professor Maria Cristina G. Alinsunurin. Please welcome the members of the Graduate School faculty. Professor Maria Dalisay G. Maligali, Chair of the Biological Sciences Standing Committee. Associate Professor Marion Lux Castro, Chair of the Physical Sciences Standing Committee. Associate Professor Winifredo B. Dagli, Chair of the Social Science and Humanities Standing Committee. Associate Professor Jaya Agnes T. Buera, Chair of the Standing Committee on Student Progress and Graduation. Assistant Professors. Associate Professors. Professors. Professors Emeriti. Welcome the President of the UPLB Alumni Association, Captain Mauro W. Baradas. Let us now extend a warm welcome to the members of the Executive Committee, led by the Executive Committee Marshal, Professor Rico C. Angcob, Dean of the School of Environmental Science and Management. Professor Elpidio M. Agbisit Jr., Dean of the College of Agriculture and Food Science. Associate Professor Crislin Margos N. Piñol, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. Professor Maria Stella C. Tirol, Dean of the College of Development Communication. Let us welcome the Executive Committee members at large. Professor Maria Angeles O. Catelo, Dean of the College of Economics and Management. Professor Rex B. De Mafelis, Dean of the College of Engineering and Agro-Industrial Technology. Associate Professor Marlo D. Mendoza, Dean of the College of Forestry and Natural Resources. Associate Professor Jennifer Marie S. Amparo, Dean of the College of Human Ecology. Assistant Professor Eileen V. Lapitan, Dean of the College of Public Affairs and Development. Professor Maria Amelita C. Estacio, Dean of the College of Veterinary Medicine. Vice Chancellor Rosana Amongo. From Planning and Development. Let us welcome the Executive Committee members at large. Professor Vachel Gay V. Palier. Assistant to the Vice Chancellor for Administration, Eugene Crudo. Professor Agham C. Cuevas, Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs. Let us graciously welcome the University Registrar, Assistant Professor Margarita Carmen S. Paterno, carrying the UPLB mace. the Chancellor of the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, Professor Jose V. Camacho Jr. Everyone, please give a round of applause as we welcome our guest of honor, national artist, Professor Emeritus Ramon P. Santos.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Our esteemed guest speaker, national artist Ramon Santos, the president of the UPLB College, UPLB Alumni Association, Captain Mauro Baradas, UPLB Graduate School Dean Jomar Rabahante, and to the members of the graduating class of 2024. Again, magandang umaga, good morning. It is my honor and pleasure to welcome you all in this 18th UPLB Graduate School hooding and recognition ceremonies. Really, I recall my three-term or almost 9 years as dean of this august body, the graduate school. But before anything else, let us have a round of applause for all of you in recognition of this momentous occasion. I would like to give special mention to the Graduate School Advisory Council, consisting of the deans of the 11 colleges and schools. They're in front. They're very instrumental in your graduation, including our faculty members and the administrative staff of the graduate school. Again, let us give a round of applause to all of these people, officials who have made this important occasion possible. I also would like to mention our international graduates who braved the challenge of leaving their home country in pursuit of their degrees here in UPLB. Your time here was an enrichment for our community and a testament to our global reputation and reach. And this morning, we are gathered to recognize and to celebrate your hard work, your dedication and perseverance, which today fully bears fruit. Your unwavering commitment to your studies, despite all the setbacks and disruptions, has brought you to this moment of triumph. Take this opportunity to bask in your success, an achievement you can and should be rightfully proud of. Your UPLB education, especially on the postgraduate level, has equipped you to make a meaningful and positive contributions to your chosen field on a global scale. The knowledge, skills, and experiences you have acquired here will serve as an invaluable tools as you set out to create lasting positive change in your respective communities and countries. Our world is facing numerous complex issues that need compassionate hearts, critical minds, and collaborative spirits to overcome. As UPLB alums, and indeed as UPLB's ambassador to the world, I challenge you to set your sights on providing solutions to the problems that plague the global community. Advocate for sustainable and inclusive development. Stand for social justice and universal human rights. Fight against corruption, apathy, and unchecked greed. These are your responsibilities, not just as UPLB alums, but also as recipients and bearers of higher education. As you receive today your degrees, or rather on Saturday, you shall begin a new exciting chapter in your journey. Continue to seek new knowledge, to embrace each challenge as an opportunity to learn and gain new skills as you embark on your future endeavors. Be open to constructive criticism and collaboration with others, especially those coming from different fields of specialization or those with differing perspectives from yours. Learn from others and share your own experiences, your ideas as a leader or as a mentor. Nurture and inspire future generation of scholars through your words and actions. While your time as a postgrad student here at UPLB has ended, our doors shall remain open to you. I invite you to stay connected with UPLB as alums or alumni, and to serve as a bridge between your institution and UPLB. We look forward to collaborating with you as we all work together to create a more inclusive and sustainable future for our communities. Congratulations once more to our UPLB Graduate School alumni. I wish you all the best in your future pursuits, although I know that your confirmation will still be on Saturday. But as you soar to new heights, know that you shall always have a home here at UPLB. UPLB will always be your home. Mabuhay kayong lahat.
Good morning. Our guest speaker, born 1941, initially trained in composition and conducting at the University of the Philippines and earned his Master of Music with distinction and PhD degrees at Indiana University and State University of New York at Buffalo, respectively. He was a full fellow at the summer courses in new music at Darmstadt, Germany, and undertook postgraduate work in ethnomusicology at the University of Illinois under grants from the Ford Foundation and the Asian Cultural Council. He has been elected as Member of Honor of the Asian Composers League, which he led as chairman in 1994 to 1997, as well as elected Vice President of the International Music Council at UNESCO from 2001 to 2005, serving as the first Filipino in the five-man presidium of the highest governing body of the international music community. As composer, his works have been conceived along concepts and aesthetic frameworks of Philippine and Southeast Asian artistic traditions, featuring elements from Western and non-Western sources, including various combinations of orchestral instruments, Javanese gamelan, Philippine indigenous instruments, as well as different styles of vocal production. Drawing from the sonic universe of Philippine and Asian music, he created open-ended, temporal, and spatial forms such as Ritual ng Pasasalamat and Likasan, and composed works that reveal the essence of Asian performing arts that integrate music, dance, drama, and poetry, which are found in his works like Badiw as Kapaponan, Awit ni Pulao, Daragang Magayon, Tao, Sandiwaan, and Alingawngaw ng Kagitingan. Sharing his concepts with Western and fellow Asian composers in the international gatherings that he has organized from 1978 to 1988 and in the 18th Conference and Festival of the Asian Composers League held in Manila in 1997. His works have been featured in major festivals in the Americas, Europe, and in Asia. In 2002 and 2003, special international academic symposia were held in Tainan, Taiwan on his works, and he was invited to present talks on his composition as well as conduct composition workshops in Tokyo, Uruguay, Bolivia, and the USA. In the field of musicology, he has undertaken researches not only in Philippine and Asian contemporary music, but also studied Javanese gamelan music and dance in Nankuan, and engaged in continuing field studies of Philippine traditional music, such as the musical repertoires of the Ibaloy, the Mansaka, Bontok, Yakan, and Boholano. His areas of expertise, aside from the above cultural communities, also include Philippine art music, Philippine contemporary music, and selected music from Southeast Asia and the cultural communities of South China. His writings have been published in major national and international journals, books, and encyclopedias, such as the Garland Encyclopedia of World Music, the CCP Encyclopedia of Philippine Art, Tunugan, 4 essays on Filipino music, Laon-Laan, Perspectives on Transmission and Pedagogy of Musical Traditions in Post-Colonial Southeast Asia, the vocal repertoire of the Ibaloy from Kabayan, Modernismo sa Sining Musika, the musics of the ASEAN, where he also served as the editor, and the New Groves Dictionary of Music and Musicians. His biography appears in 500 Contemporary Composers published by St. James Press. He has been invited to give keynote papers, lectures, seminars, and workshops in countries such as Russia, Ireland, the USA, Japan, Korea, People's Republic of China, United Kingdom, Germany, Cambodia, Argentina, Bolivia, Uruguay, Taiwan, Thailand, Singapore, and Vietnam. In 2006 and 2007, he was awarded the Asian Public Intellectual Senior Fellowship that enabled him to do intensive research on the transmission of musical cultures in Thailand and Indonesia. As cultural administrator and educator, he has organized festivals in the Namsha in 1991, 1994, 1997, and 2000, the ASEAN Composers Forum on Traditional Music, the International Rondalia Festivals in 2004, 2007, 2011, 2014 to 15, and in 2018, as well as the Gongs and Bamboo Festival in 2013. He also initiated the music theory workshop and the two composers forum at the University of the Philippines. These festivals exposed the youth into the rich musical heritage of the Filipinos, as well as its counterparts in the rest of the world. It has also developed young talents in the fields of composition, as well as in the performance of Philippine traditional music. His past appointments include Composition Chair and Dean of the University of the Philippines College of Music, Chairman of the Asian Composers League, and Secretary General of the League of Filipino Composers and the National Music Competitions for Young Artists Foundation, Artistic Director of the Cultural Center of the Philippines, Head of the Executive Board of the National Music Committee, and Commissioner for the Arts of the National Commission for Culture and the Arts, and Executive Director of the UP Center of Ethnomusicology. He is currently serving as University Professor Emeritus of the UP and President of the Musicological Society of the Philippines. He was named National Artist for Music in 2014. Everyone, our guest of honor and speaker, National Artist for Music, Professor Emeritus Ramon Pagayon Santos.
Chancellor Jose Camacho Jr., Dean Jomar Rabahante, Deans of UP Los Baños, National Academicians, Professors Emeriti, President of the UP Los Baños Alumni Association, my dear graduates, parents, and friends. First of all, I would like to congratulate each and every one of the upcoming graduating students here. My topic this morning is the role of the arts, the humanities, and culture in a university community which is a microcosm of a whole society of people that we shall be serving and intermingling with in real life. The humanities are principally manifested in the appreciation and learning of the arts as a form of gaining a higher sense of being and becoming truly part of a civilized society. And so what are the arts? Why do we teach the arts? Why is art important in human existence? And so let me first refresh you with the definition of the arts. The arts are human activities that enhance aesthetic sensitivities, inculcate values, generate creativity, and at the same time function as necessary preoccupations in human life. Thus, the arts are the main instruments for the development of a human being, a creature that thinks, feels, senses, makes judgment, emotes, and expresses sentiments, ideas, and feelings. We have been taught that there are 7 arts: music, dance, drama, literature, visual arts, cinema, and architecture. This is a Western conception, since, as we shall see later, every human endeavor can be artistic, like food, for example, whose utilitarian value is nourishment. But by defining its taste and creating a balance between nutrition and delectation, it elevates its value both physically and aesthetically. In this regard, each human activity can have the parameters of creativity, humanism, aesthetic sense, balance and equilibrium, sensitivity, skill and craft, intelligence, competence, and wisdom. By being artistic, we develop our human faculties and achieve a greater sense of fulfillment of being. In rethinking about the arts in human life, we can now clearly see that when we execute or experience art, we are actually proclaiming our humanity, our spirituality. And when we celebrate the existence of art in human life, we are also celebrating our very own existence, the blessing of human feeling, human emotion, human imagination, and human compassion. We are celebrating our human sensibilities, our ability to experience beauty, and our gift to discriminate good from evil. The arts being a higher form of communication, we therefore celebrate our relationship with fellow human beings, the relationship between humans and the natural environment, and between the natural environment and the spiritual world. Culture, on the other hand, is a process by which a people creates and reproduces shared values, symbols, meaning, and identity. These are articulated in a coherent, distinctive, systematic, dynamic, and shared way of life of knowledge, belief, art, morals, law, custom, habits, and behavior as shaped by social and historical forces. In short, it defines a way of life that is different from others and distinctive in all its aspects of being. And this definition encompasses the totality of the essence of living in a collective manner. Within the context of a university, as an institution of higher learning that is intended to develop the total human being, this definition takes into consideration the development of the totality of the faculties, both spiritual and physical, vis-a-vis the society, as well as the cultural and physical environment that he lives in and is part of. In more specific terms, these two main components are more clearly represented by the broad subjects of the arts and the sciences. If indeed the arts, as well as human expression and human behavior, are a manifestations of the natural laws of the human environment, what then is the role of the arts in the realm of science as a disciplinal undertaking? In short, does science need the aesthetic or artistic framework for its operationalization? Allow me to cite some names whose contribution to the advancement of human knowledge and to the dramatic advancement of technology in the 20th century are indisputable. In the 15th century, a man lived with an almost miraculous vision of reality. He was a naturalist, an anatomist, an engineer, as well as a great artist. He was the first modern to realize the true nature of fossils, and he was convinced of the practicability of mechanical flight, predicting the existence of airplanes. His name is Leonardo da Vinci. He was a painter, a draftsman, a sculptor, an engineer, and an architect. But he was also a very prominent painter with his two most famous works, The Last Supper and the unique Mona Lisa, among the many other masterpieces. He was an indefatigable intellectual, but also a scientific visionary whose search for knowledge was beyond the ordinary and the commonplace. Another notable individual is one of the great scholars and authorities on Bach and his music. He studied theology and also devoted himself to the study of organ building with his solid background on researching on the psychology of sound. While his name is most revered in the field of music, he was also a humanitarian and a noted physician who founded his own hospital known for its pioneering work in modern medicine. His name is Albert Schweitzer, who also gained fame as a medical missionary, healing and bringing physical solace to the needy and the deprived. He was also a theologian, besides being an organist, a musicologist, a philosopher, a humanitarian, and a time-honored writer. From literature, a name that immediately comes to mind as a pioneering giant in the field of modern technology is Jules Verne. Have you heard of him? From his unfettered creative imagination, Jules Verne did not only predict what later happened in the field of technology in his magnificent novels, but actually believed in the scientific reality of the atomic submarine and man's ultimate exploration of space and the galaxy. He wrote more than 60 novels dealing with extraordinary foresight and vision of what man can achieve in such works as Journey to the Center of the Earth, Around the World in 80 Days, and 20,000 Leagues Under the Seas, and many more stories predictive of the scientific advances of the 20th century. The world-renowned scientist Albert Einstein is cited as the most dominant scientist of the 20th century in his work in the field of physics, known for his theory of relativity and gravitational waves, which defines the behavior of electrons in different circumstances. But he was also an accomplished violinist, and he belonged to a family that also produced an outstanding musicologist by the name of Alfred Einstein. And then there is our very own Jose Rizal, who was a medical doctor, a literary writer who penned the two famous novels, Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo. He was also a fine flutist and an accomplished sportsman. He was good in fencing. These cited individuals are but a few of the outstanding models in human achievements in the history of man, in the recently ended millennium, where the arts appear to have direct bearing on their accomplishments in the field of science and technology. Whether the relationship between science and the arts is one of linearity or nonlinearity, or one causing the other to operate, is perhaps not so important for us to debate about this time. What is perhaps an obvious phenomenon in the nature of lives and contributions of these individuals is the cross-influencing of their affective and cognitive mechanisms. One of the possible deductions that we can derive from looking at these models is the element of creativity, imagination, and exploration, without which uncharted or unknown regions in human existence can be reached. In whatever field of concentration one considers in the arts, whether plastic or temporal, the element of creativity and innovation, or simply spontaneity, is very much in play. The very nature of art as a process of elevating human expression to a higher level of aesthetic and affective experience is one that provides impetus and direction to the cognitive mechanisms that transcends existing boundaries and norms in human understanding. An important part of this reality is the society where we all live and are part of. In what we now refer to as the social sciences, or the study of man, human behavior, and its relationship to its human and even metaphysical environment. The arts provide a more direct link in terms of communication and representation. In the field of language and literature, the arts offer a wider arena of communicative tools which can deal with both cognitive and affective faculties, including aesthetic levels of human perception. The artistic medium enables us to communicate using both semantic and symbolic language. Such symbolism can be experienced in the field of dance, for example. The Natya Sastra of the Indian artistic civilization is perhaps one of the more comprehensive documentations of symbols and movements in dance as a language and a medium of communication. In our example, we are shown the human body as the basic instrument in communicating very specific messages through hand gestures, facial expression, and other bodily movements. In this particular expression, the message is not communicated with the use of the environment, of physical space, as is done in Western dance called ballet, but by means of the human body through the forms that it creates with the hands, the fingers, the torso, the feet, and the toes. In other words, the main focus is the meaning is articulated in the physique of the dancers and nothing else. In examining the very nature of expressive cultures, whether as artistic production or social activities and forms of communication, their multidimensional properties can serve as both the basis and source for the reformation of values in morality, spirituality, and aesthetics towards new forms of human productivity when interfaced with the various disciplinal forces in the field of human knowledge and understanding. They offer the vast repository of hidden wisdom of in traditional life, providing challenges and opportunities for new modes of thinking and experimentation, as well as changes in social behavior and conduct. While technology alludes to the creation of a mass-based culture where accessibility to knowledge and other aspects of modern life is supposedly brought within reach of every human living individual, such global intent, whether truly socialist or capitalist, are always power-motivated and must be balanced with a sense of cultural integrity, as well as the challenged by a holistic view of human life based on history, tradition, moral tenets, and an abiding respect for one's social and physical environment. And this brings us to the issue of modern technology in viewing the relationship of the arts and the sciences in the context of a university education. As a clear representative of the scientific advancement of the times, modern technology, especially shaped by the electronic revolution, has become an instrument of globalization in the light of the economic conditions prevailing in the world today. The other major concern about the dramatic advances of modern technology today is the danger it poses as a substitute for or replicating the functioning of human beings, as well as creating a new way of life and an environment that threatens the obliteration of traditional values, especially in the field of human communication and human interaction. One of the first attempts by a Filipino to fuse modern technology with human energies, as well as the infusion of the elements of traditional practices into one experiential event, is the composition by our national artist, Jose Maceda, entitled Cassettes 100. Jose Maceda was a brilliant pianist. He was also a researcher and a prominent ethnomusicologist. Done in 1971, Maceda simply made high-fidelity recordings of the structured sounds of native instruments and projected them by means of cassette recorders, which were very new in the 70s. Unlike his foreign counterparts, he did not process the natural sound objects with the sophisticated electronic hardware, nor dismissed the human factor, but rather preserved the natural sounds as the primary medium for achieving the desired aesthetic condition, using human beings as the purveyors of the sound medium. Reprocessing and reconfiguring these natural sounds would occur only during the actual performance to the movement of the 100 individuals, each carrying a recorded playback of the 100 prepared tapes according to predetermined directions. Cassettes 100 was first staged at the spacious lobby of the Cultural Center of the Philippines and was later repeated in different parts of the world, in the USA, in Tokyo, in Canada, using different sound devices and gadgets, including cell phones. Is there no sound? Okay. In the context of the threat of machines, the technology has produced to serve the so-called human needs, but now appear to create and dictate the needs of modern society, the university as the primary mechanism in developing human faculties to their highest potential must therefore respond to this threat with greater sense of urgency. In this regard, we must find ways and means to create a healthy balance between the two main ingredients of the arts and the sciences in representing the humanistic and technological sides of human life. At this point, I would like to share with you a very unique experiment that was undertaken by the Committee on Literature of the National Commission for Culture and the Arts some years ago. In its aim to revitalize traditional forms of literature, the committee initiated a project called Text Tanaga, a series of weekly competitions that ran for the entire National Arts Month, where the public was encouraged to send their entries of modern verses or the tanaga or four-line poetry via the proverbial cell phone, a technological device that we can consider as having created a new way of life for the global community. In this particular experiment, the general public became aware of a traditional form of artistic expression even in the context of contemporary life, and the utilization of modern technology to communicate human sentiments and feelings. So let me just read to you some of those that won in this competition. Nang ako'y nag-aabang ng talat bulalakaw, bigla kang napadaan at ako'y tinamaan. Ako'y si Juan Irog, bayabas kang matayog, hihintayin mahinog hanggang sa aki mahulog. Kapag biglang suminsin ang ngiti mo sa akin, ako may mujahidin, mapapa ama namin. Alam ba niyo yun? Okay. Magyera man ang mundo at Pinoy magkagulo, basta ikaw at ako ay make love, not war tayo. Di ako nag-lunch, sinta, kapos kasi sa pera. Phone card na ang inuna para lang ma-text kita. Bagay sa'yo buhok mo, bagay sa'yo suot mo. Pero sinta, alam mo, akong mas bagay sa iyo. I would like, therefore, to end this talk by reiterating the need, especially in these modern times, to assess in our university programs the fundamental requirement of striking a healthy balance between the study of the arts and the sciences, and considering even the possibility of integrating the two elements in designing or redesigning major disciplinal programs. As demonstrated by some of the illustrations, the knowledge, resources, and traditions are available to us, and we have to thank modern technology for some of these benefits. It is now up to us to seize the opportunity, even as we continue to pursue our basic mandate of cultivating our human environment as a true habitat of feeling, thinking, and creating human beings. And so I congratulate all of you today for having achieved the completion of your studies. And I wish you all to have a holistic and an all-inclusive and an all-embracing careers ahead of you. Good morning to all.
Chancellor Camacho. Our graduates, please rise. Dear Chancellor, it is my honor to present the 291 graduates of master's and PhD degree programs from the graduate school, the class of 2024.
We shall now commence with the awarding of certificates for the candidates for graduation. For the degree of Master of Development, Management, and Governance, Mark Louis Manuel Parado. Mariel Ann Katigbak Villegas. Christine Kalagi Bonus. Lindsay Maristela Orsolino. Perfecto Perpetuo Madrid Talavera Jr. Cristel Camille Jimeno Ramirez. Nicole Quintana Tew. For the degree of Master of Food Engineering, Ian Jetro de la Cruz Avila. Ri Alexa Las Piñas Suerto. Jennifer Ayan Celerio Tenorio. Lawrence Gange Pale. For the degree of Master of Information Technology, Melanie Joy Cabigat Limos. Alonzo Francisco Portigo Locsin. Manilin Valdemoro Ordonio. Araya Krisha Makabuhay Rebo. Besilio James Tapian Berula. For the degree of Master of Management in Agribusiness Management and Entrepreneurship, Josica Marie Trinidad Bienvenido. Geoffrey Andrew Palma Lakaya. Katrina Ramos Cedillo. Matthew Jansen Castro T. In Business Management, Lea Baguno Flores. Nilda Gonzalez Gonzalez. Abigail Tolentino Lat. Sai Heinz Arzaga Montenegro. Rampador Babiera Potencio. Genevieve Maria Cartina Publico. Joseph Yapana Kela. Reden Velasco Rebo. Eduardo Durante Rodriguez Jr. Joanna Maria Arnelia Constantino R. Diana Sesumission Arcawin. Maria Aizel Caraan Dolong. Ezekiel Cruz Makatula. Marie Nicole Villa Oliver. In Cooperative Management, Maria Emma Luan Pascualado Bailoses. For the degree of Master in Public Affairs in Education Management, Cherry Love Bedanya Montales. Khalid Bantuas Mustafa. Rodora Adan Ulan. Jeff Lorenze Bambarda. In Strategic Planning and Public Policy, Ejel Elento de Vera. Lloyd Christian Magajes Medina. Anne Christine Calabon Aranguren. Rowena Lynn Atanasio del Rosario Balatazo. Cyril Estimado Lim. Joan Marcela Velasco Oron. Rodeline Mondocan Resuelio. Frederick Carl Basila Zambrano. Deca Palmes Evangelista. For the degree of Master of Professional Studies in Food and Nutrition Planning, Jean Bernadette Estrada Bagaya. For the degree of Master in Veterinary Epidemiology, Marianne Jane Adatu Bartolome. Mark Joshua Cortez. For the degree of Professional Masters in Tropical Marine Ecosystems Management, Emerine Dones Tadeo. For the degree of Master of Arts in Communication Arts, Vanessa de los Santos Norioda. Mary Angeline Mediarito Gonzalez. John Carlos Mendoza Alvarez. In Sociology, Neil Clark Valdeavela Abelido. For the degree of Master of Science in Agricultural Economics, Durgesh Manjresta. In Agricultural Engineering, Maisel Edisan Taladhay. Ismael Ordonia Magkulang, recipient, Pahinungod Service Pin. Aiza Magdato Nieva. Lonimar Bermudo Opo. Gamielo Salvador Pereira. Efren Paul Importante Arevalo. Batir. Shalimar Badwa Ganyola. Gemma Narido Hernandez. Mark Romy Estopacio Nanali. Y. Pyo. In Agrometeorology, Jude de la Cruz Llenares. In Agronomy, L.J. Luis Romero Dulpina. Pamela Sison Imato. Monique Valdez Corpus. Gladys de la Cruz Tinglasan. Angelica Litana Pontesor. Biobelisa Carion Fontanilla. Few Min Y. In Animal Science, Carmelo Wilfredo de Luna Carada. Etheline Dizon Chua. Karen Galarion Penaso. Laika Aguro Servidad. Kerwin Florencio Sicat. Joy Ira Baraga Bunan. Felicio Tagaktak Atienza Jr. Talia Jubilo Macoro. Angela Marie Fuentes da Ayala. Florina Mahinay Pharma. Marife Manzano Iranzo. Clarissa Aricheta Lopez. Roy Joseph Racasa Mosaso. Recipient, Pahinungod Service Pin. Janzel Ira Reyes Nacario. Alisa Jean Ramos Ogmega. Marco Felix Sanco Valdez. In Applied Nutrition, Christine Joy Bunsua Ewayan. Mariel Gregorio Silada. Emmanuel Jan Trinidad Bagtas. Ricadel Salaver de Arce. Christine May Nicolas Espada. Recipient, Academic Achievement Award. Mark Basilio Elefante Estudillo. Paul Johanna Cleve Celestino Morante. In Biochemistry, Eugene Clark Labao Magpantay. In Botany, Aaron John Valenzuela Balobalo. Karen Lu Luwayon Ebano. In Chemical Engineering, Jude Martin Ardales Manzuela. Kimshi Alulod Karingal. Zaniel Carillo Gomez. Christian Lewin Vargas Neri. Julian Eris Leones Parañaque. Brett Sean Pascua Comares. In Chemistry, Arnie Shane Guillermo Gauran. Karen Jean Tejero Diez. Benis Lyren Joy Samira Lin. Andrea Macandong Manalo. Alvin Manuel Maquito Traje. In Computer Science, Ariel Bituin Doria. John O'Neill Villena Jeronimo. In Development Communication, Dara Clarice May Llamas Barile, recipient, Academic Achievement Award. Mary Grace Manipon Nidoy, recipient, Academic Achievement Award. In Development Management and Governance, Sofia Maldo Mercado. Micaela Amihan Susilia Arosa. In Economics, Jovil Andrea Pramis Coliente. Galuba Evasco, Raymond Kim de Pedro de la Cruz, in Environmental Science, Allen Glenn Gumaya Hill, Ryan Rogelio Romasanta, Jack Gabriel Minyosa Ruiz, Sue Dixie Ariel Tandang, Carlo Berha Trinidad, Noelito Tuco, Ana Gail Casapaw Valles, Efren John Benedicto Bruno, John Vincent Castro Colini, Rizaldi Almario David, Lance Irvin Fernando Elieva, Rachel Rose de la Cruz Centalan, May Angeli Casuyon Paradela, Rusty Keith Esmas Lasino, Althea Jane Batillos Roa, in Extension Education, Byron Amadeus Gonzalez Cayabyab, in Family Resource Management, Karina Gail Viray Sagi, recipient, Academic Achievement Award. In Food Science, Ana Rina Belandres Evangelista, Mariel de Guzman Gamboa, Mary Jane Terrio Coloma, Corina Panagiton de la Peña, Annie Bates Ramos Inigo, Noel Carriaga Pascua, Elaine Marie Ibanez Reboto, Shaira Palasigan Reyes, Jose Amado de los Santos Torreda, Liza Baheta Umali. JC Medel Apion Victorio. In Forestry, Marinel Regala Agonia. Recipient, Mahinungod Service Pin. Angelito Paner Simo. Stephanie De Mesa Di Malanta. Alexis John Tahong Pahardo. Faith Ann Aquino Manarin. John Ryan Linaw Nabidad. Philip Jones Gabriel Reyes. Recipient, Academic Achievement Award. In Genetics, Francis Omega Soma. In Horticulture, Darren Ken Solde Antese. Jenny Carandang Bengoa. Arvin Joshua Puno Barlomo. Efraim Razon Ramos. In Mathematics, Justin Earl Recuenco Adorado. In Microbiology, John Leonard Reyes Chan. Crystal Fritzia May Patolilit Gonzalez. Shaina Lu Torrente Palar. Ariane Lieva Afable. Gerald Mera Aguilar. Anjali Josel Silva Castillo. Bonnie Matunda. Melvin Galliano Magbalita. John Edward Bueno Manlapas. Maynard Ulay Talplasido. Michael Louis Ramirez Urso. In Molecular Biology and Biotechnology, Leo Agustin Rivaldo Barcelo. Paulo Miguel Bernardo Siazon. Russell Tizon Santos. Katrina Dumondon Aguilon. Alvin Tunik Jimenez. Maria Michelle Balunes Peñol. Mariela Huasay Revilla. Maria Kimberly Cruz Suministrado. In Natural Resources Conservation, Rico e Daniel Manalo. In Physics, Marisol Perez Martinez. In Plant Breeding, Lori Jane Juanito Malunes. Julian Amora Rezos. Usha Shrestha. Jo Marie Concepcion Domingo. Ira Janela Leiva Ellen. Patricia Isabel Medel Lopez. Mera June Janet Moe, 2024 UPLB Ambassador, Service and Leadership Award. In Plant Pathology, Oliver Damino Balatban. Risa Joy Castro Bulata. Pihil Gedara Hera Mutias Selange Shasika. In Soil Science, Rodelio Tobias Alejo Jr. Elma Bosis Pulgarines. Daryl Nelo Saino Aguilar. June Spencer Asho Serra. RJ Baracao Bedania, recipient, Pahinungod Service Pay. Sofia Aleni Cotoner Hugia. Gerald Engay Kamagan. Lorraine Sasing Lau, recipient, Academic Excellence Award. Dalagan Agustino. Jeffrey Boneo Magistrado. In Veterinary Medicine, Sean Chim, 2024 UPLB Ambassador, Service and Leadership Award. Ruby Yara Lorenzo. Harold John Badel Aquino, recipient, Pahinungod Service Pin. In Wildlife Studies, Leonito Mijares Picua Jr. Maricon Gurobat Vargas. In Wildlife Science, Raynil Mabin Salang. In Zoology, Faith Nicole Midad Agudo. Ralphino Gabitanan Sanchez, recipient, Academic Achievement Award. Marion Michael Apistar Bacaba. We now proceed to the awarding of the hoods of our PhD candidates for graduation. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Agricultural Economics, Mai Tien Hui. Advisor, Professor Antonio Jesus Quilloy. In Agricultural Engineering, Rodel Tolosa Utrera. Advisor, Professor Roger A. Guyon Jr. Recipient, Academic Achievement Award. Lumacat Castañas. Advisor, Professor Lopez C. Santa Cruz. Joy Motas Dizon. Advisors, Professor Pompey C. Santa Cruz and Associate Professor Amelia Henry. Maribel Florentino Itang. Advisor, Professor Pamela G. Fernandez. Herminio Jonathan Cortez Halocot Jr. Advisor, Associate Professor Analiza Genedina M. Ramirez. Jean Yausas Valleser. Advisor, Professor Pompey C. Santa Cruz. In Animal Science, Kalu Arachi Kankanmage Samantha Lakmal. Advisors, Professor Cesar C. Sevilla and Professor Veneranda Magpantay. Michael Owen Pandi Balihan. Advisor, Professor Veneranda A. Magpantay. Cherry Reyes Alvarez. Advisor, Professor Romel C. Sulamo. Warren De Vera Come. Advisor, Professor Renato S. A. Vega. Saifu Lormaisim. Advisor, Professor Elpidio M. Agbisit Jr. In botany, Dian Vidwan Lurtiana. Advisor, Professor Inocencio E. Buot Jr. Agpoon Antonio. Advisor, Professor Inocencio E. Buot, Jr. In Development Communication, King Che Yu. Advisor, Professor Serdi B. Hamias. Professor Maria Stella C. Tirol. Ray Ann Meneses Quilloy. Advisor, Professor Benjamina Paula G. Flor. Manolito Tamayo Zafaralia. Advisor, Professor Benjamina Paula G. Flor. Andrea May Campano Malonzo. Recipient, Academic Achievement Award. Advisor, Professor Serdi B. Hamias. Kasmir Nema. Recipient, Academic Achievement Award. Advisor, Professor Maria Stella C. Tirol. In Development Studies, Maria Teresita Borja Osalia. Advisor, Professor Rowena D.D. Bacomis. Ernesto Diocareza Doloso Jr. Advisor, Associate Professor Emily P. Serrano. Rosa Ofelia Dedal Velarde. Advisor, Professor Jane C. Reyes. Ginaline Bahilango Freo. Advisors, Professor Greg T. Pawilen and Professor Maria Ana T. Kimbo. Emmanuel Lusuergo Orogo. Advisor, Professor Rowena D. Bacomis. Aisa Baguio Sumpay. Advisor, Associate Professor Emily P. Serrano. In Entomology, Caril Noval Palaha. Advisor, Professor Jessamine R. Adorada. In Environmental Science, Marion John Michael Macapil Achondo under the UP Professional School for Agriculture and Environment. Advisor, Professor Maria Victoria O. Espaldon. Luisita Francisco Quegajo. Advisor, Associate Professor Marisa J. Sobrevisan. Bernard Lu Lopez Aba. Advisor, Professor Emeritus Virginia C. Cuevas. Ahmad Samroni, 2024 UPLB Ambassador, Service and Leadership Award. Advisor, Professor Decibel B. Faustino Eslava. In Food Science, Madeleine Suarez Dumandan. Advisor, Professor Catherine Ann C. Israel. In Forestry, Tran Tan Tuong. Advisor, Professor Nathaniel C. Bantayan. Nguyen Tien Fong. Advisor, Professor Enrique L. Tolentino Jr. Bernard Peter Olanga Taipan. Advisors, Professor Nelson M. Pangolina and Associate Professor Rusty E. Pino. He is also the recipient of Academic Achievement Award. Maria Karina Luz Ricafort Discaya. Advisor, Professor Nelson M. Pangolina. Garcia. Advisor, Professor Emeritus Rex Victor O. Cruz. In Genetics, Husna Abdullah Dimapala. Advisor, Professor Emeritus Merlin S. Mendioro. Desiree Apil Labrador. Advisor, Professor Antonio G. Dalusi. In Horticulture, Abigail Pegolio Daria. Advisor, Professor Elda P. Esguera. Vences Cuino Ballecer. Advisor, Professor Calixto M. Protasio. In Human Nutrition, Ana Lorraine David de la Vega. Advisors, Professor Maria Teresa M. Talavera and Associate Professor Nancy A. Tandang. Maria Teresa Apostol Fulgencio. Advisors, Professor Maria Teresa M. Talavera and Professor Laila S. Africa. In Microbiology, Presi Dizon Bagtoto. Advisors, Professor Rina B. Opulencia and Professor Luis G. Jimenez Lirola. Alba Teresa Samonte Cabajes. Advisor, Professor Emeritus Ida F. Dalmasio. In Molecular Biology and Biotechnology, Israel Dave Villanueva Akita. Advisors, Professor Maria Jeneline Q. Diaz and Professor Gilda B. Johnson. Pathology, Yolanda Botigan Angeles. Advisor, Professor Filomena C. Santa Cruz. Mary Joy Porras Flores, Advisor, Professor Filomena C. Santa Cruz. Medi Pagtanyog Lopez, Advisor, Professor Filomena C. Santa Cruz. In Soil Science, Derny Tagana Olguera, Advisor, Professor Pearl P. Sanchez. Andrea Flores Dawan, Advisor, Professor Pearl B. Sanchez. Roland Velarde Ralios, Advisor, Professor Pearl B. Sanchez. In Statistics, Regimar Adan Racine, Advisors, Professor Arturo Y. Pacificador Jr. and Professor Zita B.J. Albacea. For the Doctor of Philosophy by Research in Environmental Science, Katrina Engay Gutierrez. Advisor, Professor Maria Victoria O. Espaldon. In Forestry, Philip Ayaay Alviola. Advisor, Professor Ireneo L. Lit Jr. For the degree, straight Doctor of Philosophy in Development Communication, Shari Eunice Ticar San Pablo. Advisor, Professor Benjamina Paula G. Flor. Daniel Renz Manalo Rock, recipient, Academic Excellence Award. Advisor, Professor Maria Stella C. Tirol.
Magandang araw, class of 2024. While I am explaining the significance of the GS Medallion, may I ask the graduating class to prepare the GS Medallion for a synchronous spinning ceremony later. The GS Medallion, which symbolizes two things. First, this medallion showcases the achievements of the UPLB Graduate School with more than 50 years of existence. The achievements of GS include you, our graduates. The history of the UPLB Graduate School will be incomplete without you. Second, the GS Medallion can be worn with your UP Sablay. Tomorrow, during the commencement exercises, you can wear it. This symbol distinguishes your achievement in elevating your knowledge and skills and for taking the challenge towards excellence through graduate education. Like the UP Oblation, which symbolizes public service, a selfless offering of oneself to the country. The GS Medallion with the UP Oblation embedded in the GS logo is a reminder that we offer ourselves with our gained knowledge, skills, and values during our graduate studies to our country and for the world. Now, may I invite everyone, let's synchronously pin our GS Medallion at the left side of our toga near our hearts. Class of 2024, Padayon.
Good morning, distinguished guests, faculty, family, friends, and most importantly, our graduating class. Today, we celebrate the remarkable achievements of our graduate students whose relentless pursuit of knowledge has brought us all together. It is my distinct honor to introduce our student speaker this morning, Mr. Daniel Rensrock, a graduate of the Straight PhD program in Development Communication. As the graduate garnering one of the highest achievements today, he has dedicated his work and education to making tangible impact on society. This year, we have chosen from a remarkable pool of graduate students who inspiringly share their stories. However, Ren's story is a beacon of hope, embodying what it means to be a storyteller, weaving together the threads of honor, excellence, and service into a compelling narrative that inspires us all. His experience as a development worker and graduate student has been marked by a dedication to ideals such as social justice and advocacy, reminding us that our studies are not just academic exercises, but powerful tools for change. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Daniel Rensrock.
To our guest of honor, National Artist and Professor Emeritus Ramon P. Santos. The Chancellor of the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, Professor Jose V. Camacho Jr. The Dean of the Graduate School, Professor Jomar F. Rabahante. Vice Chancellors, Deans, and other officials of UPLB and the Graduate School, the GS faculty and staff, my fellow Team Black in House of the Dragon, and most of all, my fellow candidates for graduation, along with their families and guests. Isang masigabong himig ng pagbati sa ating lahat. I wish to begin this speech the same way I began my dissertation. My name is Renz, and I am a Homo narans. Walter Fisher, a key figure in narrative studies, introduced the metaphor of Homo narans to support his claim that what sets us humans apart from other primates is not only our ability to stand straight or craft tools or become rational beings, as suggested by evolutionists, anthropologists, and philosophers. Rather, Fisher argued that what makes us human is our ability to tell stories. We are all storytellers by nature. We author our narratives as we experience the world, every sequence building upon the choices we make, and every milestone marking a chapter to close. As shared by Professor Santos earlier, just as there is art in the hardest of sciences, there is poetry in even the most commonplace of experiences. We are immersed in each other's narratives. We gain our first words from our parents, then our teachers, and then our peers. And from these words, we set out to explore the world, like a book with blank pages waiting to be written. We borrow our lexicons from all the people we've encountered, loved, and even hated along our journey. When we speak, we evoke not only one voice, but an ensemble of voices, some harmonious, others discordant. In other words, as Homo narans, it is our innate capacity to tell stories to and about each other that defines our humanity. I am honored to be sharing the graduation stage with all of you. I understand that for many of us, today is a significant landmark in our respective narratives, a chapter that took years of hard work and sacrifice to author. At this very moment, we are writing a collective story of success, one where we celebrate our goals, our glow, our inner being, and our bigger meaning. But today, I present myself not as a PhD graduate or an alumnus of this university, nor as a recipient of any award, heartwarming as the recognition may be. I introduce myself to you as a storyteller. I strip myself bare of this regalia and all the prestige it carries, and I stand in front of you as a human in its purest form, a Homo narans who has a story to tell. And the story I want to tell today brings us away from this gymnasium, across the islands of Visayas, and into a small island community in my homeland of Mindanao. During my research, I was given the opportunity to share stories with the fisherfolk of the municipality of Del Carmen in the Siargao Islands. I was warmly accepted into their community. From the shallow waters of the mangrove forest lining its coastal areas, to the depths of the coral reef formations where the fishers dive for their sustenance. From the serenity of the mountainside where the nanays would process dried fish together, to the bustle of the public markets where the locals congregate at night. From the vastness of the seas to the privacy of their homes, from the public to the personal, I was allowed entry by the fisherfolk even into their most intimate spaces. Above all this, I was given access to their narratives of climate change adaptation. These stories were shaped heavily by their experiences of Super Typhoon Odette in 2021, the strongest, most devastating typhoon the Siargaonons have ever faced. They were not easy for me to hear. They were harrowing tales of pain, frustration, anger, and loss. There was blood shed in these tales, and even more so, tears. But underneath the murky waters and the debris left by the typhoon was a glimmer of hope, shining through in the fisherfolk's promise of a better tomorrow for themselves and their families. They are driven by the resolve to turn to an optimistic page, leaving behind the horrors of the past chapters, and continue rowing their boats with the currents as people who were made stronger by circumstance. They have come to revere the sea as a world unto itself, deserving of protection, and honor the mangroves as their unsung heroes that shielded them from the fiercest winds and waves. They smile and they laugh, undeterred by everything they have been through. Because of this, I concluded my study with a bold assertion that the fisherfolk of Del Carmen adapt to climate change through their storytelling. They know the power that their stories hold, like weapons against even the most formidable forces of nature, and they are unafraid to harness them in their defense if need be. Stories are powerful, and as their bearers, we are powerful ourselves. Now, as I speak with you, recalling my own experiences on the island, I find myself mentally flipping through a dictionary that the fisherfolk have authored, borrowing their language and translating their words into my own. I hear a chorus of their voices escaping my lips. I feel the sand between my toes, the waves curling against my fingers, and the breeze caressing my cheeks, as if I were in Del Carmen right now, by the sea, still deep in dialogue with the fisherfolk. I would not be here today on this stage if they had not accepted me into their spaces and entrusted me with their narratives. It is only right that I share this stage with them. Sa mga managatay ng Del Carmen, salamat Karadyaw. Tinanggap ninyo ako sa inyong mga tahanan at mga kwento, at dahil dito, ang entabladong ito ay para sa ating lahat. Each of us here has a story to share, whether it's our own, or of the people we've met, or even of the communities of the research that have guided us to where we are today. Some stories are told in bold, thunderous voices, while others are whispered softly. Some are seldom shared, but are passed around in secret, like words written in invisible ink. Some, however, remain untold, not because their bearers lack the voice to tell them, but because they are silenced, deliberately silenced, by those who fear the power that these tales hold. In other words, some stories are granted more privilege than others. As servants of the nation, once guided by the principles of honor and excellence, it is our duty to ensure that our stories are not only given form or listened to, but are respected for the power they hold and afforded the justice they deserve. As much as we are storytellers, we are also accountable for the stories we tell. We bear the responsibility of ensuring that the words we write in our reports, no matter how scientific they may be, are never devoid of the voices that brought them forth into the world. Like the symbolic oblation, whose guiding shadow has served as a compass in our adventures, we offer ourselves as fellow Homo Narans to the stories of others. So I share with you, my fellow storytellers, a simple invitation. Tomorrow, after the commencement exercise, once we have folded our nice barongs and hung our pretty dresses, and once we begin braving our commute home, traffic sa Kalamba, and once the euphoria of graduation has settled down and we start transitioning back to our common lives with names that are a couple of letters longer than before, let us ask ourselves, to whom do I offer this sablay, and how can I honor their story? Before I descend the stage, I wish to pay homage to one last storyteller, a jeepney driver's daughter, a nurse, and a mother. In war-torn Kuwait, she built a family of 5. She raised her 3 children with love and made sure each of them could make the most of their potential, even at the expense of her own. She battled cancer for 14 long years and eventually succumbed to her illness 3 years ago. But not before leaving the pen she used to write her narrative to her only son. And with that pen, I composed this speech, a story in itself, and vowed to continue writing others more. My late mother, the beautiful Amelita Malaro, I honor your story today. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. Padayon is scholar ng bayan, and may we all commit to being storytellers of the people and for the people. Thank you.
Hingin ko lamang ang inyong kaunting pakikinig with due respect to the organizers of this program. Ako ay natutuwa at tayo ay maraming nagsipagtapos sa graduate school, sa master's at sa PhD. During our time, nung kami umalis dito, dekada 70, kokonti ang nagpi-PhD at nagmamaster dito sa UP Los Baños. Lahat ay galing sa abroad. Ang dahilan daw ay napakasimple. Mahirap mag-aral ng graduate school dito sa UP Los Baños. So ngayon, isang napakalaking pagbati sa inyo lahat. Ang role ng UPLBAA ay napakalaki sa bawat isa na nagtapos sa Los Baños. Since ako ay na-elect na presidente, akin na pong inikot ang buong kabuluan from Region 1 to 12 at na-organize ko na ang UP Los Baños Alumni Association. Nagpunta ko sa Southeast Asian countries, lalo na sa mga nagsipagtapos dito nung araw during our time, Vietnam, Cambodia, at nagpunta na rin ako sa Amerika para i-organize ang ating UPLB Alumni Association. At nakakatuwang ibalita sa inyo na sa aking pag-ikot ay natuklasan ko ng maraming UPLBAA graduate ang naging successful sa kanilang field. May malalaking kumpanya na top echelon ay galing sa UPLB. Sa Houston, Texas, ang isa sa mga nakatuklas ng gamot sa cancer ay nanggaling dito sa UPLB. Graduate ng chemistry in the name of Ben Valdez. So, nakakatuwa na tayo ay muling magkasama-sama. Pilitin nyo na kapag kayo ay umalis dito sa pamantasan at kayo ay nag-join na ibang bansa o na ibang region, please see to it na kayo ay malalapit uli sa ating pamantasan sa pamagitan ng pagsama nyo sa Alumni Association sa inyong region o sa mga bansa na inyong pupuntahan. Gusto ko, pagbalik ninyo dito, makaraan ng 20 taon hanggang abutin kayo ng Golden Jubilarian, ay isa kayo sa mga matutuklasan ng Alumni Association na kayo ay may ginawang karapat-dapat na ikinararangya ng ating bansa, ng ating sangkatauhang Pilipino at higit sa lahat ay ang ating universidad. Meron tayong kinukuha ng mga outstanding college alumni, outstanding university alumni, at ang pinaka-popular sa lahat ay kung kayo ay magiging karapat-dapat na maging isang presidential awardee. So ipagmalaki natin sa ating sarili na kaya natin kayang tumayo sa pwesto na ating ginagampanan ay dahil tayo ay nanggaling sa UP Los Baños. Dadalawa lamang ang pinakamagaling na universidad sa buong Pilipinas. Una, ang University of the Philippines, Los Baños, at ang ikalawa, others. So, tumayo po tayo. Raise your hand, right hand, and repeat after me. I, state your name, a graduate of the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, hereby solemnly swear that I will faithfully discharge to the best of my ability the duties of a member of the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, Alumni Association, and that I will support and defend its Constitution. I hereby pledge my unswerving loyalty to my alma mater, and I impose this obligation upon myself voluntarily, without mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Mabuhay ay UP Los Baños.
This has been a very inspiring morning. Thank you very much, everyone, and God bless the graduating class of 2024. This has been the 18th Hooding and Recognition Ceremonies of the UPLB Graduate School.
Oh, hello there, Mr.